So, good morning, everybody. And my name is Lucia Giovannini. And I wake up every morning to empower people through positive change so they may create better lives for themselves and all sentient beings that we are so interconnected with. And I'm also a transformational speaker and author of 13 books, including A Whole New Life, we just launched in the US bookstore. And I'm very excited today, particularly excited because it's International Women's Day. And so I've invited a very special guest for today's Inspirational New Life series, and his name is Tim Storey. So you may ask, and why not a woman? And I think it's very important for both men and women to come together and celebrate women together. So I'm very excited to have Tim here with me today to do so. And here's a little bit more about Tim. As an acclaimed author, speaker, and life coach, Tim has worked with people from all walks of life. And from working with influencers like Robert Downey Jr., Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Brent Bolthouse, Patrice Washington, Stevie Wonder, West, Quincy Jones, and many, many more. Tim has also worked with adults and children in the most deprived neighborhoods in the country to spread life-changing inspiration and motivation. Tim has also run a web series called Power Women Wednesday, where he celebrates the authentic journey of powerful women. So in honor of International Women's Day, Tim and I are going to talk about the specific challenges women face when it comes to creating a whole new life for themselves, whether that means living an unhealthy relationship or making a career change to follow their heart's calling. Most importantly, we'll also talk about the tools women can use to create the whole new life they deserve. So welcome, Tim, to the A Whole New Life series. It's such an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
What a privilege. And isn't it beautiful that you can be in one part of the world and I'm in Southern California and we can have this type of conversation?
It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, sometimes, I look at technology and I see all the problems that the technology brings with it. But on the other side, there's such so many amazing opportunities. I think that we just need to, how can I put it? Focus on technology and focus on wisdom at the same time so that they can grow together. Because if we have a lot of technology and low wisdom, then it's going to be a mess.
That's true.
Yeah. So Tim, tell us about, in your career, you've worked with thousands and thousands of women and also powerful, influential women. What did you notice are the major challenges women face when it comes to creating a whole new life for themselves, whether that means living an unhealthy relationship, making a career change, or other areas?
I would first like to say that women have played a stronger role in my life than even men. Because when I was a child, when I was only 10, my father, unfortunately, he passed away in a car accident. He went to go get some food one day, and a man ran a red light in a car and hit his car, and he passed. So my mother, who is Spanish, her first language is Spanish. She had to now raise 5 children.
Wow.
And she worked at like a bakery. And she only had a 6th grade American education.
Wow.
So I saw this power woman, my mother, Vicentita Gonzalez. I saw her have to adjust, have to adapt. And I think that you would agree with this, that every woman that's listening today, that there's a role that you feel many times that you play. You play the role of daddy's girl, or you play the role of trying to please your mother, or you play the role of this is what school you should go to. I want you to be a ballerina, or I want you to be an attorney like your father. And there's a certain role, but I watched my mother have to adapt and change her role because of the passing of my father, which I call a life interruption.
Yeah.
So I feel like many women that I'm good friends with, they have life interruptions that happen in their life, and then they don't know how to redefine and go into a different role
Mm.
and be successful in that role.
That's an acute observation. So true, by the way. So true. Why is that, do you think?
Well, I think that many times that women have bought into a fantasy of what a woman is about. So let's say if I'm a prince and I want to get to you, the princess. So now I got to jump the fence, fight alligators, get through the fire, and give you a kiss. and then you're going to be happy. So I think that it's not reality. And so I think so many women were fed this,
Yes.
that they needed somebody to jump a fence, fight alligators, get through a fire, give them a kiss, and then they would wake up.
Yeah.
But so I think that a lot of women that I know, because I'm around the most powerful women in the world, and now I have another friend in you, another most powerful woman, that they are women that just didn't go for that.
Yeah.
And so they wrote that scene out of their movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as you said, I'm extremely close with Oprah Winfrey. She's like my sister. We're around each other a lot. We do projects together. She didn't fall for that. She's not trying to be anybody's princess. And so it's very important to realize that you have been born an original and you don't need to die a copy. You are uniquely you. You are a Wonder Woman in your own right. And it's okay to manifest that.
Yeah, so true, absolutely true. And yet we women have been, raised with so many conditioning of, having to please other people and having in some ways to hide our power, our light, uh,
Yes.
because otherwise others will suffer, or otherwise we will take away something from others in some ways. It's like putting other people's needs first, because, and not just because, I mean, I'm not against in general putting other people's needs first, because sometimes, I mean, you have a little kid and you have to take care of his needs, and but as if you do it, usually if you do it as a rule, then you're not aware of that, and you do it even if it's not necessary, or
Yeah.
even if
I
it's totally, I mean, destructive, and so yeah.
I like what you said about the word conditioning.
Mm.
And so we're obviously conditioned by our parents many times, sometimes by our siblings,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes by our school teachers, but many times just in the environment that we live in.
Yes.
And because I know you're a world traveler like myself, I've been to 75 countries. It's nice to see women expressing themselves in many, many different manners. But I think at the same time that in repositioning yourself as a woman, it doesn't mean you have to be in fight mode. I think that so many people, whether it be people like me, Black people, or people that have been oppressed in the past, I don't feel that I have to be like in a fight, that I'm a Black man in a fight, and every day I'm fighting to get back. I don't believe that. I believe I need to become aware, I need to become awake, I need to be enlightened.
Yes.
And then I need to then cooperate with who I am now, awake, aware, enlightened. And that is the thing that has given me such influence in the world. It's not that I'm irritated with somebody and I'm going to fight back to get my spot.
Yes, yes, totally, totally. That's so important, because I mean, it's so true. I mean, working with women who are managing big companies, for example, there are a few, but there are. What I notice is that sometimes the attitude they have is that of, you know, that of a fight. Let's fight men in a way. Let's fight our position. And I understand where they come from. Okay, I totally understand it, because sometimes it's so exhausting in certain environment. But at the same time, that's exactly what female power is not, you know. So it's not just an emulation of patriarchism. It's not just, you know, let's fight back, because if we keep on just fighting, nothing will happen. We just, you know, create wars, and that is not what needs to happen. So, yeah.
Okay, so I think you would agree with the answer of this is that in the famous book, The Art of War, it teaches you for us to choose our battles wisely. Okay.
Yes.
And so I'm around the American Indians quite a bit. For over 20 years, I've worked with the Crow Indians in Montana. And one of the things they taught me is that some of the greatest chiefs of the past of Indians, they won battles without having to shed any blood.
Mm.
They won with wisdom.
Yes. Yes.
And so you win and I win with wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if I feel like someone is trying to hold me down or oppress me because of my color, I'm not going to war with that same kind of battle. I'm going to use wisdom.
Yes.
To help make my moves to get to the place that I need to be.
Yeah.
And that's what I am finding in women, whether it be in art, whether it be in music, in teachers, in writers, in the area of humanitarian women. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, they are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And they don't wake up thinking I'm battling or fighting. They're thinking, no, I'm going to use my wisdom to do what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. Exactly. And also I think that when there is need for a fight, the idea is to fight the prejudice, not the person, you know.
Good, good.
And so it's a totally different energy. So yeah, totally agree. So I have
Yes.
another question for you. And what are the tools women can use to create the whole new life they deserve? So we have already talked a little bit about this one, which can be considered as a tool as well, you know, a shift in perception. But what other tools can women use?
Okay, so what has to happen, the tools that number one, you have to become awake.
Mm.
I feel like so many people, men and women, that they are just kind of going through life and they are a little bit kind of walking in their sleep.
Yes.
So number one, you have to become awake. And then once you're awake, you have to take inventory and you have to say, now that I'm awake, what happened to my life?
Mm.
And maybe a woman right now is watching and you say, I'm awake. How did I marry this man 12 years ago? And you're awake and now you take inventory, or, oh my gosh, I'm married to this man and I have 2 children, or I'm awake and now I see what I don't like. So it is good to take inventory, but be very realistic about your inventory. And I remember I used to work at a clothing store as a young person, and once a month we would have to take inventory: how many pants, how many shirts. It's very important on a weekly basis for us to take inventory. So number one, become awake. Number two, take inventory. Number three is the power of partners.
Mm.
Women need to partner with other amazing women so we can learn from each other, grow from each other, strengthen each other, because you all have blind sides and so do I.
Yes.
And so you become awake, you take inventory, but then you need to partner with power. And you tell me, how important is partnering with the right people?
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
it's paramount. It's paramount because I mean, I'm not saying that we can't do it alone, because in a way we also could, but it's so important. It's so enriching, and doing it together. You know, going partnering it up together is a totally different story. And I think that for us women, there's a trick there, because for so many years, thousands of years, we've been conditioned, you know, to be rivals, to compete with each other. And I think that this competition has, at those times, had to do with, you know, we couldn't survive alone, so we had to have the favor of a man, to find a man who could marry us, have some good money to support us, to start a family, etc., because we couldn't support ourselves. And so we had to
Yeah,
compete with other women for that. But now we don't need to compete at all. There's no
at
need for
all.
competition. Instead, there's a big need for collaboration, which is one, for me, for how I see it,
Yes.
collaboration is one of the pillars of the female leadership, of female power in a way. I could use that word, of a female characteristic, because in ancient times, in the matriarch society, and in Europe, we used to have those thousands and thousands of years ago. Women used to lead together and to collaborate.
You
So
said something so beautiful, because I'm a wordsmith. I speak, I write. When you talked about the difference between competing and collaboration, I've never heard it said like that. That is really, really brilliant.
mm,
And the collaboration is such a wonderful thing, because we can really grow. We can really find these layers with each other where we begin to strengthen each other
yes,
through collaboration. You
yes,
know, I get the wonderful experience to be with amazing people in the studio, like people that they would know. And I see that some of the best songs are written through collaboration,
yes,
great ideas through collaboration. So, women, on this beautiful day, let's collaborate.
yes.
Let's
Let's
collaborate.
collaborate. Totally, totally agree. And the third and last question: if there was a woman listening who is currently having doubts about her capacity, struggling to courageously live an authentic life, what would be the one message? And the challenge is, here is the one message you would like them to take away and carry with them for the rest of their life.
Okay, I think I have the answer. And that is to, you know, like an eagle soars. So the word soar, SOR.
Yeah.
We need to soar with our strength.
Mm.
It's so easy for women to look at the weakness. Oh, I gained 7 pounds, or, you know, I'm going through this situation. I'm going through menopause. And I know so much about this because I was raised by my mother and my three sisters. And I'm the youngest. So I've watched my sisters all these years go through these phases, including divorce or whatever. The key is to soar with your strength. Like, for instance, my mother, Vesentita, her strength is in the area of being a very disciplined hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 7 people at one time. We
Wow.
were lower income, but our place was clean. I know how to do dishes better than most people, but my mother's strength was discipline and order. Discipline and order was her strength and is her strength.
Mm.
Look what she did to her son.
Yes. Yes.
Discipline and order. Do you
Yes.
know that I go everywhere I go, I show up 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes early. I never miss days work. I don't complain when I'm hurting. My mother taught me discipline and order. So the key is, women, what is your strength? And it may be something that you think is small. And that may be that you are an encourager. Soar with your strength. Encourage. Maybe it's a problem solver. Soar with your strength. solve problems. So I'm loving you. I think you have beautiful energy. You are soaring with your strengths, and I'm glad you've touched the world. And thank you for crossing over and doing more and more in America.
Thank you so much, Tim. I was so inspired because there were so powerful insights, and this one also, this last one also, because by soaring with our strength, just being ourselves, we become role models.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
it's such a wonderful, advice to take home. So thank you very much. It was such a pleasure to have you in this series.
You're welcome.
And you can learn more about Tim and his work at timstorey.com. And if you are inspired by this video and would like to learn more about how, as a woman, you can develop the strength to live in an unhealthy relationship or make a change, a wish change, or create the whole new life you deserve, click on the link below to order your copy of A Whole New Life. And tune in on my Facebook page to see who's going to be the guest for tomorrow's interview. And join my A Whole New Life Facebook group if you want to watch the whole series at 10 o'clock. And have a wonderful, wonderful International Women's Day. And thank you again, Tim. And see you soon.